Abiola, ultimately, I will now want to use the word again, that very, very controversial word, has emerged a messiah of democracy. He died for that cause. So it was simple. When we now took on Abacha, and that takes me to that issue of Abacha parties. You see, when the annulment came, let's first go to, you said I worked for him. I didn't work for him. Abiola emerged on a Saturday in Jos. So I went to OBJ. I said, sir, your friend. He said, we friend. I said, Abiola. I said, Kashi. I said, Bashon. He said, Kashi. I said, yes. I said, the man who win the election, they won't give you. He said, what? That is not possible, Kenya. Where do you get all these stories from? Let me tell you, Ibrahim can never do that to MKO. He brought him out himself. I said, no, sir. It is powers beyond Ibrahim that will do it to him. So you are saying this seriously? Who told you? I pointed at Wally. I said, that man is a security man. He said, that one? I said, yes, sir. He picked up his phone. He called, when he talks to you about MKO, he calls him Kashi. When he talks to him directly, he calls him Bashon. He said, Bashon, I have somebody here. Where you say he was in his room, in his house. He said, wait there. We drove straight to Okwebi in the man's house. And I told him the same thing. He said the same thing that OBJ said earlier. That no, Ibrahim can't do that to me. I said, I told your friend that it's not Ibrahim. The powers beyond Ibrahim that will do it to you. He said, so what do we do? You seem to be serious. I said, yes, there are things we can do. Because before then, it was also shown to me a lot of things that will happen that can be done. So I gave him a snippet of what I knew could be done to stall what became then the annulment. And that's how he called his son. Kola, this is Kenny Martins. He says there's an issue here. Anything he wants us to do, we'll do it. Here was I, a neophyte. I wasn't a politician. I'm just a businessman. And here I am, MKO Abiola telling his son that anything we want to do in SDP, we should take over. So we took over. Every strategy, all the major strategy, from taking care of everything from INEC to police station to IGPs to governors to everything. We drafted, and we ended up drafting up even the budget for SDP that was read that time at Federal Palace. You know, I arrived from America that afternoon to come and read that budget. So that's how I got involved in politics. Because I wanted a friend to be able to assist. And eventually, and INEC people played that role. And that's why we found that to annul the election was impossible for the governments, because INEC as a body showed, which was my plan with Abiola. We tell everybody in INEC and the security force everywhere, the governors, both SDP and NRC, don't rig for us, just protect our common results. And if you found that in every state, in every hamlet, the results were reflected. We achieved that. So that was why they had to take extra positions, extra powers, extra angles to be able to annul the election. It didn't really work. So talking of Abiola, it was not an exercise in futility, because we delivered the best election ever, the freest and fairest. We even helped the government of General Babangida to ensure that the election was free and fair, because we already took care of everybody's concern, and they were consistent in ensuring that the results were reflected. So when this one was done, it became the freest and fairest election in the annals of electoral history in Nigeria. That is not an exercise in futility. It also sets the pace to make it impossible for the military to stay in power. It made it so bitter a pill that military escapade or military incursion into governance became an anathema, became something that nobody ever wants to consider, because it became so messy. So working for him set the pace for democracy we are enjoying today. Some of us were killed. People like Alhaji Asule Adedeji, it still remains the most unhappiest day of my life. Some of us were killed in the process. Just like Nadeku, who were bombed, wherever they were bombed, and we were able to bring democracy to bear. At the end of the day, that transition collapsed and gave birth to proper democratic process. So I believe that the advent of MKO into politics his involvement and the role of some of us is not something that was a waste at all. It was a foundation, a precursor to the birth of true and enduring democracy that by the grace of God we're enjoying today. And that's why the players today, I want to address them. They should know that some people pay price for this democracy with their freedom, with their lives, with all kind of cost. Because you remember the Obasanjos of this world went to prison. The Sulias Adedejis of this world were killed. All these ones happened. So, and all these were spin-offs of that Abiola election. So working inside that election, working for that election, is one of the greatest services I believed I have rendered for democracy.